Boy Meets World. Everybody loves Stuart. So the episode starts off with Topanga giving a speech about achieving one's destiny, which Stuart replies,
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Topanga Lawrence, the next president of the United States.
No, actually that was Bush, unfortunately. Stuart here is played by Ben Savage's older brother, Fred Savage, and he plays the cool, hip, new teacher at their college. Stuart is a cool guy, you know, he makes class exciting. The students are allowed to share their own opinions, even Shawn is participating in the class.
She's in charge of her own actions and therefore creates her own destiny.
Good hair and good answer.
Stuart also likes to shake things up, you know, he likes to stir the pot a little.
He leaves his nice suburban home, and then he gets hit by a bus.
No, I don't get hit by a bus.
Why not?
Because his life is on a set? He doesn't need to take a bus. How is a bus gonna get him out of studio? He just gets around by going to the next set. Anyways, Corey and Shawn really take a liking to the guy. They even go as far to say that he's better than Mr. Feeney.
Is awesome. I mean, I've been waiting like 1,000 years for a teacher like this.
Yeah, high school was amateur night. It's not like Feeney at all. He treats us like equals. Feeney was like a parent. This guy's a friend.
This episode displays a lot of ideas about what crosses the line. Stuart hangs out with the students like he's one of them, and he also takes a liking to Topanga for her smarts.
If we don't challenge our leaders, we have no right to complain over how they lead.
That's a quote from my paper.
But for some reason, Eric doesn't like Stuart, apparently for his fifth sense, that tells him that something's wrong about someone. That night, Stuart stops by Topanga's dorm to discuss her paper about crossing the line. He feels that the paper was lacking on her part, so he gives her an example.
I'm your teacher, and I think you're attractive. And now we're not talking about the paper.
So Topanga writes a paper on ethics and morals about crossing the line, so her teacher thought it would be appropriate to respond by crossing the line and pulling a move on her. This guy's a creep. Luckily, Corey walks in before anything ABC wouldn't be allowed to show on air happened. The next day, the kids are playing a game while Corey and Stuart talk in private. And what comes forth is one of the most badass moments of Boy Meets World.
She thought you were hitting on her.
What if I was?
What if I was?
Never mess with your younger siblings, kids. Corey's in hot water with the school and he might be expelled for his actions. The Matthew family comes in to lend their support, for the most part.
Oh, you idiot! I thought you had a student.
Eric also lends his.
I know, I saw him, man. That dude sailed.
The dean schedules a hearing to determine Corey's fate at Pembroke. Before the hearing, Topanga tries to give Stuart an ultimatum, but she doesn't realize that he's a total creep.
You came on to me.
What?
The hearing starts and Stuart explains what happened, but Feeney doesn't buy it. He then pressures Shawn to participate and tell what a great teacher everyone thinks he is. Stuart then goes on to say that Mr. Feeney treats his students like children. Mr. Feeney continues the debate as whether it is or was crossing the line to visit Topanga in her dorm room. The argument gets a little heated, especially when Topanga stands up for herself.
And Corey's show of disrespect undermines me and this university.
And your show of disrespect undermines me.
Corey then goes on to explain what he did and why, but the dean explains that it's against the school rules no matter what the reason. Then Shawn participates once again and gives his final opinion.
Corey, it's okay with me that you hit him.
The dean gives her final say on the matter, and after reviewing both sides, she decides Corey should be suspended. For one day. Stuart doesn't like the idea, but the dean doesn't think Stuart is much of a teacher, and she goes on to say that she's going to find out what he is. The episode ends with the gang talking to Mr. Feeney. Corey realizes that college is a different world than high school, and that they're not kids anymore.
We're not children anymore.
When did that happen? I don't know. Today, I think.
This episode works well in many ways. For starters, the theme of this episode is about crossing the line and what is going too far and where are the gray areas. Was Stuart crossing the line with the students? Was him being in the dorm in the first place wrong? And did Corey cross the line for hitting him? It brings up a lot of these gray issues we have to deal with in life. Also shows that Mr. Feeney can't baby them like he did through high school. College is just too much like the real world.
Dean, I beg you to reconsider this.
George, sit down. You can't protect them anymore.
Although being one of the more darker episodes of the series, it manages to have a lot of good humor and it balances the drama very well. Eric, once again, steals the show. And something I'm going to be doing in these reviews, I'm going to always show Eric's best moment of the episode. In this episode, it's obviously, for me, the courtroom scene.
It's not a trial, so let's not make a big courtroom drama out of it.
Jonathan Cumberland for the defense.
Unbelievable.
Great episode. This one's a total classic. So subscribe, and also I take requests. So if there's a particular episode of Boy Meets World that you like and you'd like to hear me review about it, just PM me and I'll do it. And that is it. I do not own Boy Meets World. ABC Studio does. And thanks for watching.